Hey, Walter Sorrells back with another Knife Making Friday 5. Today, basically just going to rummage through the mailbag. So, first announcement, kind of cool little thing. At long last, I'm going to be getting the most recent viewer knife video out. Got a huge number of folks sending in pictures, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to everybody's knives. Kind of bummed about that. I'll have to go through the whole bunch and see if I can or can't. I'm not going to be just calling out the coolest looking knives or whatever. I'm probably going to be favoring ones that have good pictures of them. And also, I want to get a real wide range of knives in. I want to get knives made by guys who've been at this for a while, and some that are by guys who this is their first knife. The first knives are, to me, some of the coolest ones because that's where you really see people's passion and excitement just jumping right out for the first time, and I think that's really cool. So on that front, really cool thing, a Dutch composer named Arjan Kiel is going to be providing the music for the viewer knife video. He volunteered to write a piece just for this video, and very excited to have that on the video. So Arjan, big thanks to you if you're watching. Really appreciate your hard work and very excited about being able to use your music on that video. So a month or two ago, I did a thing about knife making and family, and I said, guys, why don't you send in some little stories about things that you might have done with your family, and got a couple of great responses to that, so I wanted to get to those today. But first, one other little note from a viewer. I ordered some tool wrap recently, stainless steel tool wrap, which is used for wrapping knives and heat treating, if you guys are familiar with that. And the box had been sitting around for a little while. I was still using up my old box, and I finally opened up this box of tool wrap, and inside was a little note that said, "Big fan of the show, keep up the good work, John Tedesco, stainless steel tool wrap." So John, thanks, that kind of made my day, so appreciate your taking the time to touch base with me. So one other note from a viewer, and I did a thing about drilling a while back, and got this note. I'll just go ahead and read it. It's from Jeffrey Hadabaugh. Hope I pronounced his name right. He's a tool and die maker, been in the trade for a long time, and just had some thoughts here about drilling. If you need to drill a hole or open up a hole in something that has been hardened and all you have are standard drill bits, grind negative rake on the cutting flutes, use constant pressure, turn the bit at a slower RPM, and keep the coolant or lubricant flowing. It's a slow procedure, but when that's your only option, it is doable. So great comment there, and hope that might help somebody out who's drilling one of those tough holes. All right, so let me turn to a couple of stories that were sent in by folks who were responding to my video about family and knife making. I'll just go ahead and read this one. This is from Jason Erdkamp. He writes, "I was about 13. My dad ordered an Apache Skinner and a Texas Bowie from Jant's Supply. He had my brother and I work on the scales and the hidden tang Bowie. My brother lost interest and I ended up completing them. They have problems. Fitment of guards are off, gaps in the handles, terrible silver solder work, but they're my favorite. I have my dad's belt sander out in the garage now, and it's one more project I need to do and fix it before I can make knife handles again." So this is the especially cool part of this note. This summer, he cut down the 60-year-old olive tree in his backyard. The tree we'd shoot at, hack initials into, built two tree houses in, and a tire swing that served his children and 6 grandchildren. I saved those massive 14-inch diameter olive wood logs, and I'm in the process of resawing and drying the wood to use as handle blanks. So much beauty you wouldn't know was in there. So that tree and the memories of working with Dad will live on with materials my children can build with. Very cool. Thanks, Jason. I really appreciate that one. This is from a viewer named Jason Holly who lives out in West Texas. I grew up lower middle class. We were not dirt poor, but did not have the luxury of taking our trucks into the shop every time they acted up or calling a plumber when the toilet didn't flush. We lived in far west Texas in that wide open country. You better be able to get yourself out of a bind. A man can get very inventive when he's broke down 60 miles from the nearest town. Every time my dad worked on something, he had me right by his side, handing him wrenches while he explained what he was doing. He didn't know everything, but he'd always figure it out along the way. This I can fix anything attitude is the best thing he ever passed down to me. I rarely buy anything. I'll look something over, then build it myself, which I recently did with a belt grinder and saved a ton of money. My little knife business is getting busier every day, and my dad's my biggest fan. For Christmas, I gave him a knife. Well, sort of. I gave him all the parts he'd need and some graph paper. We designed and built the knife together, and it was awesome. He has taught me so much over the years, it was really rewarding to teach him about my craft. I'm fortunate that my oil field career has landed me and my wife about 10 miles from my folks' home. Dad now comes to the shop quite often while I'm building knives. He's hooked. All this is to say that had my dad not taught me how to use my hands, I probably would not have stumbled onto my passion of building knives. It saddens me to know that dads today are not giving their children the same lessons I got. So Jason, really thoughtful letter, and I really appreciate your sharing that with us. All right, folks, take care, keep making those knives, and we'll see you next Friday. Thanks for watching, guys. If you feel like you got something out of this video, don't forget to subscribe. Also, click on the link to Patreon for a great way to give back to the channel. Plus, check me out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Links in the description. If you want something sharp and pointy, maybe a gift for yourself or one of the cooler people in your life, check out my Tactics Armory website and pick up one of our tactical or outdoor knives. And finally, if you want to learn to make Hamones or Japanese swords, check out WalterSorrellsBlades.com, where you can find videos about how I make Hamones, as well as forging, mounting, polishing, and fittings for Japanese swords. Thanks, and see you soon.